What if the most valuable real estate in your city isn't in the skyline, but in the shadows it casts? In a world obsessed with verticality, towers, penthouses, shimmering facades, it is the unremarkable, horizontal expanse of asphalt that quietly accumulates wealth with neither spectacle nor scrutiny. Parking lots, overlooked by design, have become silent instruments of profit and power. They sit beneath our feet and beyond our notice, blank spaces that conceal a paradox of modern capitalism: wealth creation through stillness, vacancy, and invisibility. How did these voids, spaces of non-use, become sites of economic extraction and speculative potential? Why do they persist, even in cities that claim to champion density, sustainability, and smart design? Today, we're not simply asking how parking lot owners make money. We're interrogating what their quiet wealth reveals about our systems, about what we value, what we neglect, and who ultimately profits from the architecture of absence. So let's ask the uncomfortable. What does it mean when the emptiest spaces generate the most enduring returns? There is something almost alchemical about how a bare expanse of pavement, void of architecture, devoid of culture, can transmute into sustained, generational wealth. On paper, it's simple: a few thousand square feet of concrete, a paintbrush's worth of lines, a gate, and a sign. But beneath that simplicity lies a system of economic optimization nearly immune to the volatility that defines much of modern real estate. A surface lot in downtown Los Angeles, for instance, generating $25 per car across 100 spaces, accrues $75,000 monthly, largely untaxed, scarcely regulated, and rarely maintained. The overhead is negligible, the returns robust. And unlike buildings, which require capital-intensive upkeep and are susceptible to tenant fluctuations, parking lots endure like urban fossils, stubborn and profitable. But the economics are not merely efficient, they are revealing. Parking lots thrive in contradiction. They are spaces that succeed by not developing, that generate capital by resisting change. They are urban loopholes, exploiting outdated zoning codes, tax structures that privilege stasis, and a municipal hesitation to confront entrenched landowners. And so, the question becomes not how they make money, but why we've allowed such mechanisms to persist. What does it say about a city or a civilization when its inert spaces become its most lucrative? Is this ingenuity or pathology? If real estate is power, then parking lot ownership is its most discreet expression. The individuals and families who control these parcels often do so invisibly, eschewing the branding, bravado, and headlines that characterize contemporary wealth. Take the Shudnow family in Chicago. For decades, they've held parcels of asphalt surrounding the United Center, operating quietly under the name People's Stadium Parking. Developers and sports moguls have come calling. One offer alone, $8 million, was declined without fanfare. Why? Because that number, though substantial, withers in comparison to what the land becomes over time. With every passing year, those lots produce passive income and appreciate, pressurized by the gravitational pull of urban development. This is not just passive income, it is speculative leverage. A parking lot is a land bank, a chess piece held in reserve until the right move can command checkmate. Its very inertia becomes an asset in cities obsessed with acceleration. This behavior, often rationalized as shrewd business, also perpetuates stagnation. In a housing crisis, these underused parcels represent shelter denied. In a climate crisis, they amplify heat, sprawl, and emissions. But their owners operate in a moral vacuum, shielded by LLCs, protected by legacy zoning, and empowered by a political reluctance to challenge land wealth. These lots are not relics of outdated planning. They are instruments of intentional scarcity, held by those who profit most when development stalls. Urbanism, we are told, is evolving. The rise of remote work, micromobility, and autonomous vehicles portends a post-parking future. But the asphalt doesn't disappear. It adapts, it waits. We might expect these empty spaces to be swept away by innovation, but instead, they are being reimagined with unsettling creativity. In Seoul, parking structures are re-engineered as automated towers. In Brooklyn, surface lots morph into weekend flea markets, delivery hubs, or pop-up experiences. The lot becomes liminal, a canvas onto which the city projects its temporary fantasies. And yet, these transformations rarely displace ownership. They expand utility without disrupting equity. The land remains in the same hands. The income flows continue. And the city, ever adaptive, bends to accommodate this parasitic flexibility. We must ask, is the parking lot dying, or is it evolving into something more insidious? A ghost infrastructure, untethered from cars, yet tethered eternally to profit. What happens when even our urban reinvention serves the status quo? Here lies the contradiction. Cities tout progress, but legislate in favor of preservation. They lament inequality while enabling it through policy inertia. The parking lot becomes a cipher through which we can read the deeper failures of urban governance, not as a curiosity, but as a mirror. In that mirror, what do we see? And more importantly, what are we still refusing to see? In the end, the parking lot is not merely a place to leave a car. It is a spatial metaphor for the ways capital rewards inaction, how systems prioritize ownership over use, and how silence often speaks the loudest in the language of power. We've explored the elegant efficiency of their economics, the quiet dynasties behind their persistence, and the cultural amnesia that allows their proliferation. But perhaps the deeper revelation is not about parking lots at all. Perhaps it is about how we, as societies, reward extraction over creation, speculation over contribution. How we overlook the structures that quietly shape our cities, our behaviors, our futures, until it's too late to reclaim them. So the question we leave you with is not, should we build on these lots? But rather, what else have we left unbuilt while profit paved over possibility?